Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 85 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff, and alongside me, as always, is the Chad Ochocinco to my Adam Pac-Man Jones. What's going on, brother?
I was just about to say that this is episode Ochocinco. I'm excited. Even though I know that's not actually how you say 85, isn't Ochocinco. That's just 85. But
I did it for you, sir.
I understand, but in case anybody's like, this idiot thinks that's... I know that. It's from Chad, my favorite football player, Chad Javon Ochocinco Johnson, who should have had a Super Bowl had Tom Brady not missed a wide-open Wes Welker. But, you know... Even the greats choke sometime, and that was
Wes Welker, now Dolphins wide receivers coach. Yeah. All right, guys, we have a good one for you today. Channeling Steve Harvey. Don't know if the chat's going to light up. A little bit of a slower day on Twitter, it seems, but we got a fun one planned. A lot to talk about. We got YouTube comments. We got Power Rankings are back. A little tweaking there, and not the final product, but still good to have them back. And then we have a fun commercial from the guys of TBN choking on a frog, man. Which you guys need to check them out every Thursday. Talking Bloody Nonsense with Mr. Impact Craig Nixon. Every Thursday, 4 p.m. What's up, buddy? Eastern and 9 p.m. BST. One of our many shows here on the channel. But
you know what I realized?
What's up, Ray?
We finally got rid of the little message at the bottom of our chat that talked about,
yeah, we did.
Like, if you want to do something, do that. I can't remember what that message was. I just remember for like a month or two it was there, and we couldn't figure out how to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know how that happened.
It's probably been gone for like 6 months, but you know, these are the type of things that I just noticed.
All right. Well, let's get into. You want to get right into YouTube comments?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's get that going. And that's my basically. I'm buying time because I fucked up the intro. No, where is it?
Uh-oh.
No, we're good. We're good. I'm just not understanding technology today. Well, screw it. The comments are there, and that's all
there
that matters. You want to start off this one, or can you see that?
Yes, I can because I have Twitch pulled up on my other screen.
There you go. And they're both from MetaLazy99. Welcome back.
If they did have Deonna versus Britt for the ROH Women's title in the first time, a KO would face AEW Women's Talent. So because of that, Deonna losing clean to that no-selling moves Britt Baker can never get that win back. So it only benefits Britt, not Deonna. I actually agree with that. I think that I'm interested to see how they do this because I do think Deonna does lose the ROH title, okay. But I'm contemplating. I'm thinking that she may end up losing it before the Supercard of Honor, so that similar to Kenny, so that she doesn't end up taking the pin.
Well, obviously, the number 3 has been picked as one of the topics, so I think we'll elaborate more on that. But I agree.
And as far as the men's tag division with free agency in July for some of the tag talents, the tag division could look better or it could look even thinner. I agree with that. The Knockouts tag division is still super thin. Fans can say these knockouts should be in the tag division, bring these talents in, but it's still just the influence, inspiration, and decay currently, and which is rather boring. I agree. There's actually
Tasha
Savannah, and I don't know if it's at
let's see if we got it.
The Multiverse of Match. There it is. Yeah. It is at the Multiverse of Matches. We do have a new tag team forming. I don't know if they've given. I didn't see storyline that they talked about.
Who's that?
Where they were. It was Lady Frost and go back to the.
We don't have Lady Frost on here, brother.
I know, but she's appearing at the Multiverse of Matches. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you're talking about the clip art there.
Yeah, so they're going to be there. Okay. So there's definitely a possibility of them teaming as well. It looks like that's the direction they're going to go, but I do agree, still very thin.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about depth a little bit more, and where we're at. I think, as we've said previously, we think it's going to be that constantly refreshing of the roster. They said you got your key players, then you have some great talent coming in. Gresham being one of them, if you're watching on Twitch with us. Number 85, by the way, episode 85, and we have our 85 Twitch followers. That's all we want, guys. 86 is the next one. We'll do this together, one friend at a time, one fan at a time.
I will create my 86th
all
Twitch
right.
account for next week.
Oh, to boost us. Thanks, buddy.
All 85 of those are me.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that. They're 85 of my accounts.
People will believe you, Max. The Silvers. Mickie, Tasha, solid match until interference in the Chelsea heel turn was more like finally instead of wow, didn't see that heel turn coming. Yeah, okay. So they don't resign Jake, but they bring in a green as grass Bhupinder, who so far is a less talented Crimson. How dare you, sir? How dare you, Silvers? You are in doghouse. He's not that bad. Shera for the billionth time. Can't wait for the main event battle for the Impact title. I'm going to talk about that in the review. I was pleasantly surprised by Shera's reappearance. He looks to be in good shape. I think, just like I said with Bhupinder last week, I always felt like he was at that tough enough or, that gut check level. Just right there, but not, And it's looking like he's putting a little extra into, I don't know, we could debate this all the time. I'm excited to see where he goes. I love Raj. I will talk about that more later. But, the thing with Jake, it works both ways. We look from a fan perspective, but you don't know what goes on backstage. We don't know, on top of budget and all that. We don't know what Jake was asking or what Jake wants or what Jake needs. There's other people in this. It's not like they said, goodbye, Jake, and slam the door on him. I think that door is still open to that talent. But
I agree. And to be fair, Crimson is probably the most talented wrestler to never win the World Heavyweight title. So being a less talented Crimson really isn't the slap in the face some people think it is. It's like being the less talented Dan Marino. It's still one of the greats. Just all right, let's move on to the next time.
Millard Harris, our buddy, who's actually in there, I believe, in the chat. One of the ones in there. I love a lot of things that Impact are doing over the last few months, but I wish we could sign more people instead of shuffling wrestlers in and out every set of tapings. It seems like their philosophy is to be a modern day old territory, having wrestlers work programs, a few months and so on. Yeah, no, thank you as always, buddy. I agree with you, and I think we hit on that a lot, and I'll be more than happy to talk about that all day. And we could. But I think it's a mix of where we're at budget-wise, where we're at. I don't think it's philosophy. I think philosophy overall is to keep the company in the green, or I guess in the black, whatever, making green. And then, speaking of which, how many friggin' ads do I got to watch while I pay for Impact Plus and watch it? God dang it. Anyways, at least they're making money. And that's the thing is I really feel like this regime has made it to the black, spent that money, made it to the black, spent that money. They're reinvesting in the company, and I think we'll see that the next step may be locking in more people. But it depends on where the money's at. If there's a call for it, they'll do it. I think they will.
I agree. I think it's 100% a money issue to where it's cheaper for them to bring people in for a short run and only have a few people who are permanently contracted as opposed to WWE or AEW who has a massive roster because they have the budget to do so. We don't, so you make the best for what you can.
And I agree. Herbie Herbs. Hey, Herbie Herbs. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you been? All right. Oh, that's really small. All right.
Mahabali is the OVW National Heavyweight Champion. Well, that's
Mahabali Shera.
Good for him.
All right, the Blurry Walk. Hey, welcome back. What free agents would you bring in to help with the main event scene, and what signed new talent on the current roster do you guys think could be a main eventer currently? Great question. Max, do you have something on?
So free agents, a lot of the free agents I would look through, it's main event scene. I don't know. I think Jonathan Gresham officially being signed would be awesome. A lot of the people I would look at would actually be more for the women's main event scene. I would like to see people like Ember Moon come in. What's her face? Who else is out there? My brain just farted and all of them just went away. She just started OnlyFans. She's
Tony Storm, but
Tony Storm. Thank you. That's all I could think about was your OnlyFans. Tony Storm. I would really like both of them. I think Tony Storm or Ember Moon would be great for the women's. For the men, I just think signing Gresham would probably be a huge one. Yeah. I don't know who's actually out there who is a free agent. I know some people re-signed recently with. But Cody's still out there, right? Let's grab him.
I think the same thing. I don't think there's, in the grand scheme of things, where we talk about move the needle. For us as a company, I think it's build day after day. Of course, they seem to have done that. We'll hit the depth charts. I want to make sure we have time for that. But we also have roster moves to look into. But thank you for that question. Great question. Impact and Eagles, welcome back. I want Cardona and Myers to be heel tag team. We just got the Chelsea thing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But look, Impact's about branding and stables. And I'm all for them being some kind of unit.
I think once Cardona loses his title, he could. But for now, I want him to have a singles run by himself with that title. But once he loses it, then I would say possibly move him into a tag team, but not right now.
I agree with you there. All right, last YouTube comment, and this is another one from Millard Harris. I'm a man of my word. So this will be the last we speak about this. This is the only time you've ever heard us speak about this. And if you have no clue what's going on, awesome for you. We love you, and that's why you're part of this community here. But Millard Harris said, I know there's a lot of back and forth lately about Impact shows on YouTube and podcasts. I love TNAIW, and I've come to love talking nonsense about Impact Wrestling. That's us. Hope everything works out between you guys. We're all fortunate to have Impact in a positive way on both shows. Yeah, look, I'll just talk. I told Max, just let me just say what I got to say. I spoke to them as people, and to me, this is all silliness. But what I will say is make a positive, or try to make a positive about it, and just to be more transparent as we try to be and strive to be here. And I will hope to wrap up in just a minute so we can move on to real shit. But I started this channel originally to reach out and find people that had the same escape as me. Like I always talk about it. It was wrestling has always been it. I'm a day one TNA guy, NWA TNA guy, and moving forward. June 19th, 2002, right? And then Max and I have been talking about Impact and wrestling in general for over a decade now.
We did a all-encompassing podcast prior to this together.
Yeah. And once I moved away to New York, this is an excuse for us to talk about wrestling. We don't charge for content. We don't have catchphrases or egos or whatever. We're not aiming to work for Impact, and I mean, if they want to, but we have zero animosity towards them or anyone else trying to do this for Impact viewers or Impact creators. In fact, I think I did it earlier, but I always do it at the end of the show. I always like to say, hey, look, if you don't like our voices, if you don't like our point of views, if you're not someone who sticks, we love you. If you love Impact, cool. Go find someone else. There's tons of great content creators around. And I implore you to do that. And, I just think that we talk about numbers. There's numbers there. But for me, this is more. That's the best way I could put it. Of course, anyone would want a bigger platform to deliver a message. The message isn't, buy this. To us, it's just, hey, if we could reach out and make an hour of someone's day better, cool, man. So we stay in our lane. I'm trying not to read the things. We unite where we can and we include when we can. At least that's how I feel. But honestly, in all my years, dude, I don't, and especially in content creating, and that goes for different platforms and streams and things we've done, I think it's the most negativity we've ever experienced in doing something. And it's been Impact fans, which is really weird. And the occasional troll too, maybe for the right reason or not. But it just sucks, man, because I do this for my mental health. I behind the curtain, I do this to talk to my friend, get out of this box that I live in, especially during this pandemic. We really hyped, start doing this for real. And I love reaching out to people when they also need help. In fact, I'll talk about another project another day in regards to that. But you know, I won't even mention that. But whoever it is, we'll talk to you, and I'll get off my in my mind moment. But you know, the thing that really sucks, and I'm trying to put it into words without seeming like whatever about things, but I've noticed because of whatever, there's people that have blocked us and unsubbed from us and don't talk to us anymore because of some animosity we didn't even know existed. This is without even a single conversation. We did not know what the fuck was going on or what's going on here. And if you come back and you want to be there, we'll act like nothing. This is nothing to us. This is fun. This is inclusive. This is what this is supposed to be. And we're always open to conversation. Max and I were talking about that early on the show. Just come to us, talk to us. We love to talk. Max, obviously, no offense, but me as well. When I'm in my mood, my manic moves, I'll talk, explain, debate, relate. Anyone I can, I think. Well, I try to. And if anyone has ever had a conflict with me, I say the same thing. I don't come off as aggressive. I don't think. 98% of the time, if you come to me kindly, I'll be good. Kind back, lead with kindness. It always works. But man, it was just a kick in the nuts. It was a kick in the nuts to see that and to see that we're even talking about this, or that there's people torn. Look, this is an inclusive community. Impact fans, I was there from day one to now. I've been there when in the trenches when we've been getting shit on or disliked. So to see even 100 people that watch us and that have the same or similar interest is fucking cool to me. And if that's all this ever becomes, I'm cool with that. At the same time, if you ever want to talk to us, I don't think we'll be at Rebellion. I just don't think that's going to work. But I'll definitely be at September for my birthday. I'll be in Philly. Come to me. Come happy. Come nice. I just ask you don't come sideways. No, I don't. There's no need for that. This is silliness. But I don't know, Max. I know you have things to say, but
yeah. I mean, I'll say a little bit. I didn't get involved too much in the drama, mostly because I didn't realize it happened until 6 hours after it was finished. Because most of my Twitter conversations are based on football.
Fair.
I'll be the first to say, and I apologize to everybody that's in our chat on Twitter. I don't think I've looked at that thing more than 5 times in the entire time we've been doing this podcast. Mostly because stuff goes by so fast in there that I can't keep up, and I don't feel like reading through 8 hours of a million messages. But all I'll say is this, guys. I definitely appreciate the people that stood up for us, our fans. But going forward, just please, if people are saying stuff about us, we just ask that you guys not getting any type of verbal altercations, shit talking with people on Twitter. We appreciate it, but if you don't like what they have to say, just simply block them and move on with it.
King of the blocks.
Yeah, I mean, I block people all the time when I don't care about what they have to say. If I don't want to listen to it, I just block them, move on, and I don't want to interact with you. Okay, whatever.
Right.
That's the way you should treat it. We started this because our first podcast was fun. Geoff moved away. We said, hey, let's do one just based off of Impact, mostly because neither one of us wanted to watch WWE anymore. And AEW, I don't think was started yet. So we started this podcast, and it turned out we went to Slammiversary. I met people who listened to us and had fun hanging out with them, grabbing drinks with them. And I never thought that I would meet anybody, from listeners here or there. So it was a lot of fun. Definitely, hopefully we can meet more people, and let's, if you like a podcast, just like we say, we're pro wrestling, watch whatever you like and enjoy it. You can watch multiple different companies. You can listen to multiple different podcasts.
Yep.
There's no reason to hate on anybody. So once again, please don't hate on anybody for trying to defend us. Just act like adults, block them, and move on.
And very wise words of Zach Randolph, and I tell you this to the people he's speaking to as well, our friends, or whatever you want to call it. I think we're all friends, right, in the universe. As the famous Zebo, Zach Randolph, said, though, in my neighborhood, bullies get bullied. So don't fuck with no bullies. If you ever have time, let us know.
And in the words of the great Mary J. Blige, no more drama.
No more drama. In the words, I don't know. Let's move the fuck up.
In the words of the great Julius Randle. Fuck, I should have hit that shot. But
all right, guys. So Datila's in there. She's talking to us. We love you guys. Let's move on. Let's have some happiness. Let's have some fun. We might be going over. But
a lot of people.
Hey, they're not done, but they're there, and Datila's voice is over them. They'll be out tomorrow. I got a lot of things. I got kids, man. But
kid, you have one.
I got the cats.
I guess that's true. And you got Kristen. She's kind of like a kid.
I'm the baby. All right, let's get to that almighty power rankings.
Number 10, X Division Champion Trey Miguel. Number 9, Steve Macklin. Number 8, Mickie James. Number 7, Honor No More Eddie Edwards. Number 6, Tag Team Champions VBD. Number 5, Speedball Mike Bailey. Number 4, Chelsea Green and the DMC Matt Cardona. Number 3, Josh Alexander. Number 2, World Champion Tasha Steeles. Number 1, World Champion Moose.
All right, so sorry, Power Rankings Committee. I love you guys. I ran out of time, man. Stuff happens. Max, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I'll say this much. Anytime you threaten to go to a man's house after beating him and, raise his kid better than he did, I think you deserve to be number 1 in the Power Rankings. I just, that's a shot right there. Good on Moose. And I like that Tasha was too. Tasha was too. So
yeah, we'll have all the updates. We're still expanding it. It's taking time, but the set's being built. I'm really excited about it. But Moose stands steady at number 1. We'll talk about the episode and we'll see if obviously you agree. You said yes, so that's cool. But let's get right into it. Because I think we have a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of things, as you can see on the Tron, if you're watching on Twitch or later on YouTube, visually, you can see the insane 2 cards that we're coming across in April. So really excited for everyone to be amped for Impact, right? All right, hot topics. There we go. Bing. All right. So let's get on Impact on Access TV review. First, we start off BTI, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. I want to hold your thoughts on this, Max, because we know we love our Raj, but we'll talk about him in just a second. We had Shera with Raj Singh defeating Steve with Havoc. Beautiful crowd. Arena looked great. Angry Josh is calling out Moose, and Moose actually shows. Expanded the universe, which I'm a sucker for. Anytime they do things backstage or different places, locker rooms, Swingers Palace, those kinds of things I love. It expands. Swingers Dungeon now, but you can't go in it, which I love.
That's true.
Because it just makes your mind wander, right? There's just blue lights. Makes us do the work. Ace Austin had me weak. I did make a mention of that in my notes. He said, "You want to go to jail?" He's yelling at Josh. Love the continuity. Once again, it's these little things that Impact does or has been doing for a good amount of time now, where Fulton is the one that stops him. They make it apparent that Fulton's the one that stops Josh from doing, whatever crazy. And then obviously when we come back from break, Scott and Josh are backstage and mention Fulton, and eventually it leads to a match. So there's these little things. We'll see it again with the Rhino and the Spear and Macklin thing, where he gets the pop. And it's just those little bridges that they're doing, which are just, I don't see anyone else doing right now, to be honest. So Raywall ringside looking spiffy. I like that they're letting him be a little more indie or more him, it feels like, with the blazer, with the wrestling shirt underneath. You don't want him to be in the, I don't know. I just think it's.
They brought up his singing at one point too, which I liked.
They did. I wonder if he'll sing the national anthem or something. What is that? What you're referring to?
Well, no. When he was in WWE, he did the whole
Reset
Day singing. But then we're just talking in general about. Oh, you mean what I was? They just in general were talking about his singing on commentary. Just like his interactions have gotten more like into developing his character. Like
Got
they
it.
talked about, I think it was, were they talking about football or basketball or something? And he was like, he doesn't know anything about that, but he talked about like Shakespeare. He's like, so.
Yeah, I know nothing about that, but he usually says that. Yeah, I like what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
He's like, he's the professor in a way. Besides for the other stuff of life, he only knows wrestling and Shakespeare. So I like that. I dig them together. You gotta. Guys, when I look for things, we know nothing. We have no inside knowledge for the most part. Maybe little things here dropped, little nuggets that we've been blessed to been having in our chat group. But the proof is if you just look at the wording, listen to the wording of when Tom or them say stuff. That's how you find it. The little graphics. That's how. So my Blues Clues or my Spidey sense was going off in this. Nice shirt, by the way, Max.
Oh, thank you.
They say ROH Legends, the Briscoes, Tom says. He's very specific on that. The picture has no tag titles in it. And once again, I think that's something we got to keep an eye on because they were such a big part of they are such a big part of ROH's whatever. I don't know if they stay with ROH, the new ROH. So we'll talk about that, but I wanted to point that out. Just look for the wording because sometimes it tells it all. Speaking of wording, Penzer sounded like he gave a shit this time, so that's great. Finally, X Division is in great hands as Laredo Kid. Yep, okay, I agree with that. That's me writing it and I'm remembering it. Well, that's great. Yeah, great. X Division is in great hands. Yes, I agree, Geoff. Laredo Kid, Willie Mack, defeated by Mike Bailey. So Mike Bailey out of Quebec, which was was noted by Penzer. Little plant there. Aiden Prince is back as well. He's from just Canada. Waving my flag, guys.
Talking on this Team Canada since like episode 3.
Hey man, just like Suicide, it's coming.
And it just modified. It's the North. The North are doing it. Oh, this person left the company. Okay, well, I'll just substitute someone else in.
Hey, I can't. It's not my fault.
There was a person in the crowd wearing a Canada hockey jersey. I bet you he's part of it too.
No, Max. Oh my God. All right. But no, it's gonna happen. But yeah, he moves on to the three-way. So as you can see there, first of all, Mike Bailey, Alex Shelley, Multiverse matches. I mean, that's great. I was wondering why they pulled him from the Ultimate X. That explains it. And then he will be at obviously Rebellion. He will now make his way to the three-way. So we have him and Ace and Trey. So it's a great three-way. Back to the days, 2007, 2008, when you have some names in that division. It felt like each of these guys are developed, way past just new X Division guy, even Speedball. So
it'll open the show, by the way. That's my prediction.
Yeah, okay, it always was. Even hood, it's freaking cold in here. How's it down there? Freezing balls still? The one time I go on vacation, and it's
50 degrees.
Oh. So we go backstage, Bullet Club with the branding, black and white with the branding, Chris Bay in there. That's awesome. They're talking, stuff. BTI clip. They show the Shera and Steve match. All right, I'm going to open the gateway here to talk about Bhupinder because I think that was a little harsh on him. They talked about Shera. It's a little harsh about him, but we love our man Raj. So your thoughts on the BTI segment in the promo that Raj cut here about teaming back with Shera?
I mean, I like him with Shera. I like Shera. I think he's got a good, I don't want like big man, like angry look. And I like that a lot. And I think Raj teamed with him is good. I think it's a very good pairing. I'm personally, I'd prefer, I would take Jake something. I would add Jake something and drop Bhupinder, but I'll give my man Bhupinder a little bit of.
Do you really think that pay rate's the same?
No, but I'm talking about like if I had to choose between the two, like if I had to have like a feud between.
Right.
I'm just saying, like to me, like Bhupinder hasn't. I was excited when he first came in when he was talking about the stuff like, oh, I'm a kickboxing, this and that.
Yeah.
And he just really hasn't impressed me. Maybe he'll develop a little bit. Maybe this storyline. I don't know. But I think Shera is the better option, honestly.
Look, we've talked about this. This is like our biggest pet peeve in wrestling is when ethnicities are just the ethnicity. Especially, well, first of all, let me rephrase that. If they are from India, as Bhupinder is, and they say, hey, he's from India, but He's a great kickboxer. He's a
Correct.
Dig it, dope, proud of your heritage. I dig that.
I don't want somebody from Idaho being Cap in India.
Right.
Like
the Sanjay Dutts of the world where they've stuck him in that for a little bit here and there with the what was he? Guru? The Guru, I think he was.
Yeah.
And then the same with who was it for the while? Rohit. I mean, Rohit's from Canada, for fuck's sake. Doesn't mean he's not that, but it doesn't always have to be.
Yeah, give him a character besides just Indian guy.
Right, and we dug that, especially with Raj and what Rohit was developing before he left, which was very more hip, new age. I dig that thing. I sound old, but you know what I mean. They pulled it off. He's older than me. But look, I agree with you there. I think there's room for both as far as Jake or Bhupinder or Shera. I was never the biggest Shera guy. I've been transparent about that, as we always are. I think he can reach a level, and maybe that's world heavyweight. I don't know, but the kid is 31. I think. Can you look that up, fact checker?
I will.
He's been in the States. There's a lot of things he has to. It doesn't, and this goes back to just signing Jake. Oh, why didn't we sign Jake? Well, there's other aspects, and it goes into training as well. How much training did Shera get before he was thrown into stuff? Who was the creative? Who was in charge at that time? What was he expected to do compared to what he could actually do at that moment? And how young was he while transitioning to life in America? So there's more than just meets the eye with these, I'll say, projects. And if he develops into something, I'm all for it, because he would be another homegrown Impact talent that I will honestly admit that I gave up on. Not pretty quick, but somewhere in that when they're, he was soft. And he's a kind guy. I'll never say anything bad about him, and there's no flaws with that. But in wrestling, to be a big man that soft, it's a little bit harder to go. All right,
he's 31.
31. Hey, look at me.
So he's super young. No, and he is. His look now is a million times better.
Yeah.
And do I think he could be a world champion? I don't know. I think he could be an X Division champion. I think he could be someone who kind of...
I don't know, man. The DMC, and we'll talk about it.
That possible.
I feel he could reach a level where if that's going to be, and I think they could successfully do it with Matt Cardona having it. We'll talk about that with number 5. But if they raise it to the level, it could be the mid-card title we've always wanted.
If they choose to do that, then yes. Yeah. But right now, I still think of X Division as that mid-card title. I think he could be kind of a change of pace.
That's fair.
Different type of guy who uses it, and to kind of see, can this guy be a world champion?
Yeah, and look, I love Raj. I can't say enough about him. I hope he just doesn't get another stablemate, and he can kind of be the mouthpiece, but also the tag team with him. I think that would be dope. And if they expand, we've said it for multiple times. Hey, if they're going Indians, stick with Indians. Go Bollywood boys, because that group would be fucking cool. Let's keep moving on, though. We got a lot to hit. Punisher Macklin's up next. He defeats Heath. Still rocking the AJ Fluidstron. Not a fan of that, man. Rhino back in Swanson and Rittner I have. Yes, always a great moment. I can't wait to be back there in September. Once again, hey, come at me. Hang out. Rhino returns to back in there to Gore Macklin afterwards. Won't get too much in this, but Rhino looking leaner, looking meaner. It's simple. It's corny, but it's true. And he got the easy ECW pop, which he deserves. Good to see him. And, once again, it was never against the guys. It was just about the timing. Rhino was in the shape he was. Heath's coming back from injury. Both had no momentum. And here we are. So now we're getting to a place where their matches and their looks are backing up the program that they're in.
Are you willing to support the future tag team champions, Heath and Rhino, or not yet? Not there yet.
Are they next in line?
Do you think them as a tag team, would you be excited if they won the championship?
Look, man, I thought that tag team, and we'll jump right into that, actually. Well, actually, we can't. There's a bunch of other stuff. But we'll talk about it with the soldiers and all them around at Motor City Machine Guns, Rhino, Heath, Decay, Honor No More. Everyone ringside. That was a big FU to all of us who critiqued that tag division, first of all. That was really deep of amount of people around there. So with that being said, I think there's other I don't want to say more deserving, but there's other people on there that I would prefer first.
Okay.
But in future, if they continue, if they're going to keep him babyface and they don't join VBD, they don't do anything like that, and they keep them together, as long as they get back to that, great shape, but also great promo, funny shit backstage or whatever they were doing when he first started, all for it.
Great, and that's growth, because originally you were like, look, I don't want these guys, get them off my TV. I'm happy to see that they're growing. Well, that's good. That's all I can ask for.
Growth is my middle name, Geoff Growth.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's not. Ask Kristen.
I thought it was Horatio, but I could be wrong.
No. All right. Fuck. All right. So after that, we jumped around, but All About Me segment, which had Caleb run from the hard questions from Tennille into locker room talk to the hard questions with Madison and Swinger, which was great. Caleb was trapped. They're pressing him. He goes to commercial break. We don't go to commercial break, but it's another great thing with him. Once again, happy to see him be the center of something. Look, not every division can be popping at the same time. Going back to that, they'll get to them. I think there are more tag teams than we're getting them credit for. I think Chelsea and Deonna could pair up eventually once Deonna has nothing on her shoulders left, especially with this heel run. So time would tell, but not every division can have 50 challengers at the same time. But then we go to a Stone Pitbull Ishii package, and then Jonah doing a promo on the Stone Pitbull Ishii package, and they're going to fight at Rebellion. So what the fuck's going on here? That's going to go. We'll go more into that when it comes to 2, but yeah, I think 2, because that New Japan door is kicked wide open, and we are getting some dope matches via that. So we thought it'd be PCO that maybe gets Jonah out of here. I might have to do a Jonah stay like we did for Moose, and it works because this dude is next level. Our world title division, if you will, Eddie's already there. When Sammy comes back, better than ever, and with that momentum, and then you throw a Jonah or I would hope a Joe, but a Jonah sticks around or a Taven sticks around. Both of them might get a David stay, but we'll see. Lumberjack match, ring full. We already mentioned who. It came into play at the end. Honor No More, Taven getting in the way of the Good Brothers, costing them their title rematch. I dig this because my fear is that Taven and the OGK leave, man. Your thoughts on how the division looked? I know you just mentioned that you thought it was thin, but come on, man.
Oh no, I mean I think it's definitely deeper than it looks. Than when you think about it. So I was happy to see all the tag teams around there.
Right.
There's some people that I think the Soldiers are people that you don't think of as a tag team, but they are.
Oh yeah, they got the gear, bro. They're good.
Motor City Machine Guns obviously appear to officially be back.
Yeah.
So like those 2 teams kind of add to something. Honor No More coming. So it's definitely grown. It's definitely a solid division.
Yeah.
Parkside was asking about Weston coming in. Since him and Macklin have a world tag team title match against the Wolves. I think Weston coming in and teaming with Macklin would be awesome.
Yeah.
I like Macklin by himself, but I think him having somebody as a partner would be really interesting. So that would be really cool. So him kind of going, but I think that would be awesome. But
I think our tag division in the span of a month will be insane. I see Tone 720 there talking about it. We'll talk about what he's saying. Yeah. But
the Briscoe, I do think.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I do think that Honor No More attacking Bullet Club, of the Good Brothers, sets up a potential Bullet Club Honor No More feud, which to me, like you said, you're not going to start that feud if these guys are going to be gone in 2 weeks. Right. So they're clearly maybe like Jonah, where they're leaving, where every week is their last week, and then 6 months later they're still here. But
hey, do you want to come by for the next tape?
Yeah, whatever. So
yeah.
I did like that. I was disappointed Good Brothers lost. Now that they're part of Bullet Club, I want them to hold the titles forever.
Yeah.
Or win the titles back and hold them forever. Right. But I like this feud. I think it would be a really cool feud.
All right.
A little disappointed there was no Proton Pack though. That would have been a better
greatest name. Okay, finisher.
Greatest finishing move name in wrestling, not the greatest finishing move in wrestling.
For you, that would be the Magic Killer.
I do love me some Magic.
1, 2, 3. All right. Tasha and Savannah are with Gia. Once again, love all this. Look, Tasha, real quick, I want to say, we'll get into that in a second, but Tasha right now is what we wanted from the get, which is they had the run where she's herself. She gets to the top. Then they make this whole, she needs to act hard thing. She dropped it. She's herself, and she's funny as fuck. She's exactly the character she needs to be on her own right. Savannah helping along just adds to it. She's great. And with Gia, the same thing as far as her coming into her own. I've said this is maybe pretty too early before I should have, but I think she's the second, I won't say best, but definitive when you think, okay, you think of Borash, obviously. You think of Hemi, right? She's pretty damn... Yeah. She's becoming more than, we always say this. Same with Mean Gina Okerlund, Mean Gia. It's more not only about what Tasha and Savannah are saying, but Gia's reaction to the Tasha and Savannah angle. So I dig what they're saying. So
I agree with Tone. I like Tasha more as by her with Savannah than Fire and Flavor, because I feel like she's able to be more herself. Like with Fire and Flavor, she was part of a team. She had, you're not trying to upstage Kira. Whereas here, Tasha is clearly the main event of that group, so she's allowed to shine through, and I think she's been great. I do have a comment about the quote unquote heel turn, but we'll get there.
We'll get to that suck/great fest in a second. So Eddie Edwards next. Good to see Rocky Romero back. We'll talk about that as well with the New Japan relationship in a second. No code of honor. So Eddie defeats him. No code of honor there. And like a Batman signal in the sky, no code of honor means Gresham comes. Gresham comes out of nowhere, swoops in. The former Suicide swoops in and defends honor. Love him. Love him, love him, love him. He's on the roster page. We'll talk about that at number 4.
Yep. I will say, happy to see Rocky Romero. I know he's not like he wasn't coming out as Roppongi Vice, but I really wish he would have come out with that theme, because it's the greatest worst theme in wrestling. It's amazing, and then you actually listen to it and you're like, God, this is bad, but it's so good at the same time.
All right, next we have Swinger Dungeon, which we alluded to, which if you're a fan of the show, if you're not, I'll tell you again, just in case. I want this. Zicky Dice sold me, a while back, I'd say that we've wanted Swinger and him as at least as a tag team. Then we see Swinger's Dungeon. Then Zicky cut that promo where, go back and watch. You can see the beautiful new artwork there that I made up there for the previous episode with Scott Hall on it. Scott Hall. But what I was getting to with that was that it went a step further. His promo, he stopped and cut Zicky Dice out of that promo when Gia was talking to him and said, maybe I'm just not good at wrestling. He dropped the facade. It was whoever his real name is. Or that's how it felt. And I fucking dug that. He sold me on what he could be, what he is, and what I think he can be. And I think Swinger and him are just money. I also love, once again, that you can see the door, but you can't go in. So who knows what's going on in that dungeon. And the innuendo is better than maybe knowing. Mickie is unsuccessful in regaining the KO title from Tasha Steelz. So Tasha defending it here. Savannah helped. Chelsea sat. Crowd was confused. Slap, slap, slap. Cardona enters. Beautiful ending. Now, before you give me your thoughts on this show, let's talk about the heel turn. Obviously, I already had the question about it, whatever, but I thought my point of view, and I'll let you. I thought it felt very, very flat. Not because it was expected, but because it was so confusing, especially to fans who maybe not all were with the product on a day by day. There's no audio. She just sat there and whatever. I thought it made up for it. The ending did. Cardona and her together, the imagery, the work, what it done, the Mickie, the slap. I thought there was good points. It's like Phantom Menace. I mentioned that somewhere else. I don't know if it was on here. Who knows? But point being, I love how it ended. I love what we got to. Cardona is, I hope he carries that belt forever. We get the result we want, but we don't get that Impact rewind clip, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Max, your thoughts?
So the heel turn wasn't her putting the chair out and sitting there and watching. it was when she hit her with the cast. Because here's the thing. Let's say you and I are walking down the street and two guys walk up to me trying to fight me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Geoff, don't get involved. I'm going to fight these two guys by myself. And then they whoop my ass with you watching. You did what I asked you to do. I was like, hey, man, don't get involved.
Bro, I'm a man of my word.
Now, if after I'm laying on the ground, you kick me in the face, that's the heel turn. So I do think that it would have been a little bit more impactful had, like, she came out with a chair and hit Mickie in the face with a chair. That would have been a better
Look.
heel turn.
All I'm saying is, yes, I get that. I do get that. But when you have that layer of storytelling and you're trying something different, and this is in reaction to that, I want to say this: not every heel turn can be that aforementioned chair to the face. It can't always be the I loved you. There's always got to be different things, and Impact's trying new things. In a year, maybe this is copied, just like Chelsea was copied with Claire Glitch in WWE. Who knows where this so they got to start somewhere. There's a lot of innovative things that Impact does.
Possibly.
I liked it.
I just feel like the point out the chair and just sitting there was a little, I don't know. I do think it fell a little bit flat. There, not necessarily don't need a chair to the face. There's other things you could have done to signify the heel turn.
Right.
And then Mickey's like, "What are you doing?" And then Cardona comes in and catches her with radio. Like, I liked that part. The Cardona coming in, her hitting her with the cast, pulling it off. My arm was never broken. That part I loved.
Which we knew. Here's.
But
look, my take is at Parkside 15 saying it there. It is Millard, right? Is that Millard Harris? I believe so, right? It felt rushed, and he said I expected a little more of the stalking angle. That's what I thought we would get. Not that it would end so quick. Look, they were on our damn depth chart. We thought they might have given a tag title run just to keep, like they did with Jericho and that stuff with AJ originally, where you build that little, we're buddies, and you build it up. Yeah, we know it's coming, but we don't know who it's coming from. We don't know when it's coming. This did feel like, okay, swing of tapings. Let's get it going before Rebellion. Yeah. So I get where you're going with that. And obviously we'll talk about it, but we get the return of Nick Aldis,
Nikki James,
FKA Magnus, aka Nikki James. Which you guys got your little digs on me online. It's fine. No, I don't dislike the man. I just his distaste for the brand and look, there's one thing that I've been a fan no matter what. During the time he did his thing, I wasn't booing the shit out of him. If he was the heel, you boo, whatever. I'm respectful of that. I didn't mind him as champion. I thought it could have been booked differently. That's not on him. I think he has talent. Look, when you go out and you talk about TNA, you're still, the fans take it to heart. So I think at that point in time, we all took, everyone shits on TNA when they leave, right? But to that extent where you're always bashing them and always, it's like get over it, bro. And I think
does he still bash Impact?
I mean, up until this renaissance, yeah. I think when him and Billy kind of did NWA, they still did, and I think that was a little bit of our on us. I'm not sure. I won't get into all that. Obviously, look it up, Google it. But anyways, so overall, let's talk about it. Great episode. Did you like?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Even though once again the Chelsea heel turn felt rushed, I was happy it happened.
Yeah.
I was happy Cardona got involved in it too because
what a piece of shit, right?
Once again, people who date should follow the same face heel path.
Right. That's fair.
So I liked that. I liked the triple threat that's set up with Billy Wynn's going to be awesome. I definitely think it continued the storyline of Moose and Josh and potentially set up a new storyline with Bullet Club versus Honor No More.
Yeah.
So no, I thought it was a good episode top to bottom. And I'm happy that, Tasha's still our...
Yeah, for sure. The one thing I will say about Tasha, and then we'll move on to the Forbidden Door, but number 2 and 3 and 4 all kind of go into each other, I guess. With Tasha, I'm cool with what she is right now because she is that Eddie Guerrero type heel. I dig that. She has to get out of it. She's, smaller than everyone, and she's still like spunk. I dig that shit. The work rate's there. Everything she does is there. The frog splash a little, but I believe in her. We've been a fan since day one. But eventually she can't keep winning because of, and I know that's obvious, but the only time I'm saying that I will get annoyed by this, she needs to cheat, she needs to advantage, she's lucky. Eventually, she's going to need that veteran who comes in, or that very talented Deonna, whoever has the face turn and says, look, you've done this, but you've done it the wrong way. Can you beat me straight up? I don't think you can. For her to make that flip because of the character she's been, that she's portraying right now. But unless we get that, I think it will be something that we could talk about as maybe a failed reign. But we're so short in it. Let's wait till we see where it goes. But that's my only concern. So
I agree. I think I'm fine with it early on for a while.
Yeah. But
I do think, much like with AEW with Britt Baker, her constantly needing interference to win eventually got old. I do think even if she uses interference, 50% of the time, there has to be situations where she just beats somebody because I'm just better than you. That has to happen.
I agree. So we're running behind, but we got a bit to talk about. Luckily, they all run into each other because we knew we would go a little bit long here. But first, I want to get your thoughts on the first two, which is Trey Speaks Out, which talks about the Forbidden Door and also kind of leads into Deonna to April 1st. So Trey mentions in an interview, once again, the Talking Blood Nonsense guys, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST, every week. Great guys. You can find them there on the TW channel, as well as their TBN chats. They talked about this topic, stole it from them. I thought it was, I never even saw this interview, so I'm glad they put it out there. But Trey mentioned in this interview that the Forbidden Door is open, but others don't fuck with Impact talent like that. And meaning, hey, people could come in all day, but Impact talent doesn't really get to go out. Now, I agree with that partially. We have our own personal theories, but for the folks who may be new to us or just, to see where we're both at now, what are your thoughts on why he would say that? Do you agree with it? And also, because I think it rolls into each other, how is the New Japan relationship with us over maybe with other people right now? And I don't know if you're on the same page as me. We'll see.
So I do think you see some of the Impact people roll into New Japan strong a little bit more often than like overseas. I think that's obviously has to do with COVID. So you see that a little bit. But I don't think, I'm trying to think if any of them have gone to NWA. I don't think they have. Obviously, Mickie's here.
Yeah.
We've seen some NWA talent. Obviously, we've seen a couple AEW people come, but no one really go there. In terms of like Impact people going out, obviously with AEW, they have a massively bloated roster already. So them bringing in somebody outside of
fair. No, it's fair.
Moose or the Good Brothers for like story, like Moose because he's a champion, and the Good Brothers for storyline purposes with Kenny Omega. It's hard for them to just bring somebody in and just be like, hey, just have a random match, because that means just another person who probably isn't doing anything already is still not doing anything. So I understand that.
But what about our original theory?
There is some stigma. I'm also, and maybe this is just me being cocky because I'm an Impact fan, I think there's a lot of people that don't want Impact guys to come on their show and just outshine them. Like, do you really want to bring in Ace Austin and have people realize that he's better than anybody else in your product, that he's better than one of the people you're pushing?
Trey.
Do you want to have them bring in Chris Bay and have him do that? So I definitely think that's another option. But I do think that the New Japan relationship is continuing to grow. I do think you'll see Impact people continue to go to New Japan, probably New Japan strong, just because it's in the States and it's an easy transition as opposed to flying somebody over to actual Japan. So I think you'll see that, but I don't know. I think it's something to where, because some of the companies they're working with may not want to bring them in because they don't want to show up their own people, and also they have bloated rosters already.
Look, I think it's a mix of two. I can unbiasedly say that I don't think...
I can't hear you.
Oh. Hey, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Because I'm talking. So sorry, I did pour water. I think I can unbiasedly say that I think it's a mixed ball. I think there's a little bit of that, because do you want... And do I think, a Ace right now or a Bay right now, a Trey right now is better than Kenny Omega or whoever they got at the top? No. right? But would they hold their own? I think so. Could you say, hey, let's put them against Sammy Guevara and then show that they're equals? I think you could, if not, better in certain situations. So I think there's some of that, but not to the extreme that, we as fans might want to think. I think there's some of it is, I think that was true. I think the booking thing, look at what the Good Good Brothers not even getting addressed when they were on television in promos. Or, we could talk about this, and there's tons of episodes of us doing so. But I think the New Japan, I don't know, I'm trying to word this right without saying dickish or after we just said that. Pro wrestling, he watches AEW on the regular. I don't hate it whatsoever. More the wrestling, the better for places for people to work. I believe that firmly. I don't think the relationship with New Japan and AEW exists anymore. Outside the talents that have the ability to already do it in their contracts, the Jerichos, the Ambrose, whoever the fuck they are, Moxley, excuse me, Omega, whoever it may be, they're working with, was it DDT Pro or Revolution DDT, whatever it is, the Japan company. All of a sudden, there's Rocky Romero is now on our television. Was there for a little bit. They look what they did with the Ishii. Look at the 3 matches we've given him. Moose, Eddie, and Jonah, right? Pun intended, all top dogs. They put him in a fucking match with Orange Cassidy, okay? I feel like the possibility, the intent or not, they would. Who else did they? Suzuki. Who was it? The music thing.
Suzuki was there, I think.
The music where they cut out the music. So look, once again, it's not against them pro wrestling, but just calling a spade. I think that the relationship with them and AEW is the door's open, but no one is, no one's walking through that door anytime soon.
Yeah,
and I might be wrong.
I think you're possibly right. I think the thing is, and I said it, their roster is so bloated right now that, like, if you're bringing in somebody from New Japan, who are you bumping off? And they do. And AEW, I enjoy AEW. They have a phenomenal roster.
Yeah.
I would love for Impact to have the roster that AEW had. But unless you're bringing on Okada,
as in theirs is better than. Well, yeah, I guess there's some.
I mean, top to bottom, just because of the massive, the amount of people, fair. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, those guys are all awesome. So, but unless you're bringing in Okada or Ibushi, like, who are you bumping off to bring in somebody from?
But these are legends. It's not like.
I understand that, but like, it's and I understand all that, but they have their people that they're trying to get over with storylines.
Yeah.
Whereas Impact's like, hey, we'll more than happily put on a storyline because we'll run more. So I think that's the issue with AEW.
I think there's a lot of that. I think there is a lot of that when it comes to playing that. But I think just look at the breadcrumbs. Follow the wording. Follow the breadcrumbs. That interview or that last promo Scott did at AEW when he's like, "Great, our relationship, great, I love you, thank you," to Tony, and it was really weird, and Tony looked like he had a shit.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, something wasn't right.
It may be.
And I think our relationship, they're playing nice, they're saying things, but that's what I'm going to get to with Deonna. So Deonna has a little, I won't say decision on her hands because it's fucking not her decision. Well, it's her decision, but it's also, there's other things at play here. That's a better way to word it. So she's with us at the Multiverse of Matches. She's going to have a champ challenge. I think it's Taya. We've talked about that. I think she challenged for the AAA, and that goes there. I think the ROH one would make a lot of sense if she did the job for Britt Baker. Now, the wording, once again, is what I'm looking at here. And in the interview with Tony Khan I did some research. He keeps mentioning that, I don't know, she's not on the card. He doesn't know why. He's saying, I don't know what's going to go on. She's not on the card at this time. That he's speaking with Scott now, but she has a match with them the same night, so it's going to be maybe where she has to work too. The last, I didn't make the decision, but the last people that made the decisions shouldn't have given the title to someone who might have a date, like really rude, kind of, being Tony, right? Understandably upset, but at the same time, I don't know. With that being said, it seems like Scott's not just saying, cool, yeah, like he used to, which wasn't a bad thing then. I think we needed to do that to build bridges back, rightfully so. And we could still do that because we are in what perceivably is the lesser spot. With that being said, do you think there's something to that? Is there, it does, well, first of all, what should Impact do? What should Deonna do or think about this? And what do you think, Tony's point of view is? Which we kind of know, but.
Yeah, so first I'll mention to Tia, I want to answer something she said. She said AEW didn't do anything with Jay White. That's because Jay White wasn't supposed to be there. Right. Tony Khan made a mistake saying that somebody was coming through the forbidden door and made it sound like two people were going to show up, and basically made a call and was like, hey, Jay, I need you to do me a favor. So Jake showed up for that one thing and left. That's why nothing happened with him. He wasn't supposed to be there. No. But with Deonna thing, I mean, personally, I do think that there's a possibility that Scott's basically like, look, although she's ROH champion and you own ROH now, we helped out ROH. We had an ROH women's championship match on our program. We've had, I want to say, more than one ROH World Heavyweight title match on Impact. So when ROH went down, we brought in ROH titles and featured them on Impact. We're not just going to simply drop this title whenever you say so. Here we come running to let honestly, you could call her his top knockout. Yeah. Just drop a title whenever they want.
Most invested in, especially. Correct. Maybe not. So,
clearly, when Kenny Omega held the Impact title, there were, and I still believe this to this day, that he was supposed to lose to
Paige.
No, to Paige. I think it was, I can't remember which one. I can't remember the order of the AEW pay-per-views. But he was supposed to lose to Paige when he wrestled Christian. And then he was supposed to lose the Impact title at Bound for Glory. Yeah. Because Paige had a kid and went out, everything got pushed back. And I do think that pissed Scott off because they had been putting over Kenny Omega. And although Christian got to come back and be the hero and he was an Impact.
Silver lining.
He was still great, a great situation. It wasn't Josh Alexander, one of our top guys, going over Kenny Omega in the match that we were hoping for. Right. So I do feel like in this situation, Scott's like, look, if you want us to drop it, we'll drop it, but we're dropping it on our terms, similar to how you did with our title. You weren't the one you didn't own ROH when this deal was made for her to be champion.
Yeah.
So if you want to strip her, but we're not just going to drop it whenever you want to. It's going to be on our terms, and it's going to make sure that she looks good when it happens. Yeah. No, she's not dropping a title to some rando person who's never ever who's ranked 180th in AEW. They're not going to do that.
I agree with that. I mean, it makes even if it's the first, which is now would be what's her name, Thunder Rosa, who did get a victory, or did lose to Deonna at Slammiversary. So maybe they could give the win back there. I think it makes most sense with Britt. I think it's just a matter, and as they said there in the chat. As well as in the comment section or the YouTube comment segment, it doesn't do anything for Impact. At the end of the day, whoever she loses to does nothing for Impact. So it's going to be a matter of whatever they come up with. I hope it's peaceful. I hope they get it done. Pro wrestling. And I hope Deonna looks great doing both. As far as Deonna, I would just say I think she just wants to wrestle. I don't think she gives a fuck about anything else.
I need to step away real quick. I got somebody. My mother's blowing up my phone. I need to make sure there's nothing crazy going on.
I'll be back. That makes sense. All right. So we're gonna get to roster moves. We're gonna pull it up really quickly. We're going a little bit over, guys. Might not get to depth chart, but you kind of saw that earlier, and it's something we could clear up at the end there. But there were some people. We always do this kind of look at their page because I think it tells a lot. They're not a big, obviously, get well in your future endeavors company. They don't make a big whatever about it. So it's good to know. You kind of look on there, and that's how we know most of these people. Like Falaba, we had talked about before. They had talked about it. Hernandez, and so on and so on. No inside knowledge, just checking the Impact Wrestling website. Which I'm about to do. All right.
No emergency. Mother is just annoying.
Oh my god.
For no reason.
Come on,
other than
Saturday nights.
That's what mothers do.
Tell her we own the nights on Saturday night.
I don't know that. It's like blowing my phone up. Like, what's going on?
All right. So, Max, we're just going to talk about roster moves really quick. Just in general, what we're noticing. I was telling them about looking at the roster page and why it's important. As it's our, I mean, besides following breadcrumbs, it's the kind of thing we notice that's like, oh yeah, Follow's gone, or Hernandez, or insert person here. Anyone that caught your eye that's missing from this one, or that's on there now?
On there, let me pull up the roster page. So Alex Shelley's officially been added. I don't know if that's new, but
and Motor City
he looks awesome in his white.
No
jacket.
smoking. So maybe he means cigarettes. All right.
No, yeah. Well,
speaking of that, LOL Trionette.
That's awesome.
Go catch it up.
Let's see.
Just like smoking gets better as you watch more.
Jay White's there. He's been there. Jonathan Gresham is added with the ROH title. I wonder how long that'll last, but Jonathan's on there. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else added? Motor City Machine Guns are officially added.
Mm-hmm.
Tasha has her new render with her hold of the title. I love me some of that.
Honor No More.
That's
Honor No More is just one group, which is annoying, but that scares me. It scares me. Jay White's on there. Skylar's still on there. There's some things. The thing that kind of caught my eye.
VBD is just one group. Oh no, Eric Young's not.
Yeah, they're
separate. They're separate. I don't know.
The one thing that caught my eye was Susie's gone, which maybe could just be to the other. Susan's there, but not Susie. I won't say that scares me because obviously Susan and Sue Young are still there. Spoiler alert. Same person. Obviously, she's pregnant right now, so we don't know. Max, you can't. No one can see you, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize. My bad, people.
Tasha looks top.
I know you guys want to see my beautiful place.
All right, Tasha.
Tasha looks what?
Topless in the picture. In the picture of her. Zicky. Oh, the one thing that I noticed: VSK. VSK is gone from the learning tree, as well as Sam Beale.
Oh yeah.
So so some of the original learning tree, it looks like their thing has ended, or there might be reshuffling or repackaging. So a couple people that have left us, and that might once again, just like Larry D, might just be for a run or two. But is there anyone? Oh man. If Magnus gets back on here, if it says Magnus, that's I might. If it's whatever. I noticed on the thing, by the way, on the she had the baby. Well, she still needs to rest up, man. Take it easy. But her contract runs up. What I'm saying is, I don't think they're gonna. All right, bye, deuces. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know where I want to go with the roster because I don't want to get too far in a depth chart because it's already a little bit later.
The next two people that need to be added are the Briscoes. Like, let's be realistic.
All right, that's right.
They need to show up on the roster page.
I think the breadcrumbs, like we said, are there. You can see it on the Tron. They don't have the titles. They're being called ROH Legends, not ROH member. So. There's only 7 teams, even if you do the math around the ring and the lumberjack match. We need 8, right? We need 8.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Tone had mentioned that. Tone 720. I want the Briscoes on Impact. They're on the Multiverse, and even if AEW has approached them, they get lost in the crowd there. I agree. I've said before, they have a bloated roster. They don't effectively use everybody, and you can't when your roster is that big.
Yeah.
I think they would absolutely be stars on Impact. I think they would be stars on ROH, but there's some wording that the network doesn't want them. And the best thing about Anthem owning their own network is if they want them, the network's okay with it.
Yeah, big case of fuck it.
Yeah, they can bring on whoever they want.
No one's turning off the lights. Everyone knows my love of Uh-oh. Ty and Johnny are at BCW in Canada, and Scott said he was going to pull up. Team Canada lives. It's a possibility.
Any possibility Briscoes
no,
Honor No More?
Look, I want to end it on this. I think that's a possibility. I think we could talk about it, but I do want to talk about Briscoes are booked for GCW on 4/23. Is that Rebellion? Where's GCW being held?
I don't think the Briscoes would join Honor No More. I think they would be on their own. I think those guys would. They don't seem like the people when they come in. Yeah. They're just going to be the Briscoes.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see where this goes. You don't know. Eventually, maybe they do, and they kick out Eddie, and Eddie comes with the Wolves.
I'm just giving my
right. Yeah, this is just us spitting shit. Santino Ortiz. I see a reference there. Their contracts are running up. We'll see what happens there, right? The Briscoes are free. I already mentioned Bollywood Boys. There's a lot of people more. So I'm not really nervous about that division, but I'm a day one Briscoes guy. I understand. And I'll say this, and I keep saying it. It goes back to what we were talking about before. I don't believe in holding grudges. I don't believe in letting that manifest or travel with you, man. They obviously saw the error of their ways. They are different people, it seems, from all intents and purposes. Now, granted, I don't know them personally. But I fucking dig their art. And, I don't completely agree with it as far as just saying, oh, well, we can't look past it. So I'm not going to shit on AEW for thinking about it, at least, bringing that in consideration, especially when you're a corporate entity, essentially, or at least a network. Man, their artwork is so... That Delaware artwork, beautiful. I miss it. So I will, for the selfish Geoff, I would love them back. So let's see. I think they deserve it. And if we could see them versus Motor City versus Good Brothers versus OGK versus the Soldiers, insert team here. Yes, even Heath and Rhino Max. You never know. All right, Max, you got anything you want to end off on?
Are we doing the depth chart?
No, we got time is we went over it.
All right.
We gotta get rolling. I got.
So yes, they are in difference. They're in Detroit is the GCW card, and Rebellion is obviously in New York. But things can always change if they get signed by Impact. Cards are always subject to change.
No, I don't think they would do that. But I don't know where it's at. Does it say where it's at? Oh, Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. You saw that. It's my bad.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me.
I know where that is. That's right here.
It's Google.
It's right here, Max. It's right here.
Okay, hold on. Distance from Detroit to Poughkeepsie. All right, we're gonna end this. I'm googling.
Oh, it's not Philly. It's Poughkeepsie. The person that told us is Philly. Philly 76 Philly. Respect. My bad. Dude. Treehouse, man. Speaking of that, LOL TNA, episode 2 and 1 are out now. Go check that out. Debuts every Tuesday. New episode at 4:20 p.m. Watch it, laugh at us, laugh with us. It's a good time. 3 friends, Johnny back there, Lucha, who's in the chat right now. What's up, Lucha? It's funny. Hogan era, we're getting our bearings. And then number 2, I think you guys will like the bikini contest. Go watch it. What a great plug, right?
It's a 10-hour drive. So unless Rebellion is the longest, is like one day WrestleMania long.
Look at that. Shelly's not there either. Interesting. All right. Well, more to talk about. Subject to change, as Max said. Maybe it was just for show, but he said, I'm still waiting for Tessa to come back. Oh, don't get us started. Who knows? She might show up Wednesday. No, that'll be Tony Stark. But all right, guys. Max, anything else?
Nope. Thank you very much, guys, for listening and interacting with us. We love you all.
Yep, we love you all. Peace and love. Once again, don't like us. Go check someone else out. And definitely check out TBN every 4 p.m. Thursday, Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, or BST. Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
Later, guys.
Oh, wait. No, actually, you know what? I want to... No. I got a shout out. So yesterday, obviously, we talked about it at the beginning. No more of that. Anyway. But I do want to shout out Kev Wilson, Gerard Ryan, all the people, man. I could go on. Mike G, all these people that, we do this still or that we're excited that we did this for. No matter the shit, we get to talk to these dudes, or not as much as we'd like to anymore, you know, whatever. But it's cool to interact with some good people, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, Kev. That was really dope of you to reach out. So nothing but respect, guys. Treat each other kindly, as Max said. We love you. Love you, guys.
Later, guys. Tip number 2.
Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
The following announcement has been paid for by Talking Bloody Nonsense.
Watch us every Thursday, brother.
9 p.m. BST, 4 p.m. EST, exclusively on the TNAIW channel.